Welcome to the ZebraZapps Editor Event Management tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be taking a look at managing events in the ZebraZapps Editor. I have logged into my account and will open a project. Segments of a project are called events. An author can decide what makes up an event. You might make it as simple as an information presentation or as complex as a full-blown simulation. You can build your whole application in one event or distribute it across many events. A master event is a special type of event that does not display on its own. It displays with events, either on top of or behind the objects on the event. There are two ways to view a project: the event flow view and the stage view. We are currently in the event flow view. Here you get to see the building blocks of the project and how they are sequenced. The slider below the events allows us to move through the events. As you can see, this project has 5 events and 2 masters. The top part of the slider allows you to move through and view consecutive events. The bottom part of the slider allows you to split these event views and see non-consecutive events next to each other. Here we are viewing the introduction and the conclusion page. If we slide the shuttles together, we can then move them in sequence. You might also notice that events are numbered from 1 to 100 and masters are lettered from A to J. We allow for 10 master events. Above each event stage is the event stage control bar. The buttons on the bar control functionality of the associated event or master. Let's take a look at these buttons. You can see the pluses at either end of the control bar. The pluses either add a master or event before or after that event. On a master control bar, we have the ability to change that master to either foreground or background by moving the foreground and background token up or down. This is the name of the master, and it tells you whether it's in foreground or background mode. To edit the master, we click the edit button. That will move us into stage mode, which we'll talk about in a second. To delete the master, we just hit the delete button. Moving over to an event, here we have the apply master chips. You can see that there are 2 large chips. One is down, one is up. This tells us if it's a foreground or background master, and rolling over the chips gives us the name of that master. Now, as you can see, if we scroll through using our slider, we have 2 masters in this project, and they're shown by these 2 large chips. Now, there are 8 other masters that aren't currently used, so they're just small placeholders. If we want to remove a master from this particular event, we just click that chip, and that removes that master, and you can see the background, which is here, goes away. If I click on it again, it applies to that master. So we can specifically decide which masters get applied to which event by clicking on these chips. This is the title and the number of the event. This is how we edit this event. So if we click on this, we'll move into stage mode again. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is the play button. Clicking this button will go into run mode and run this current event that we're looking at. And then obviously if we want to delete this event, we hit the delete button. Let me explain one key difference in the play button. We have 2 play buttons in the editor. This play button, and over here on the upper left bar we have the run restart button. The difference in these two is that this Run button restarts and runs from the beginning of the project. This Run button only runs the current event that it's associated with. So we can do testing on specific events. We can't edit the contents of events or masters in the event flow mode. This is just for viewing the events and the sequencing. We have to open up the event or the master by double-clicking the stage or by clicking the edit button associated with that event. Let's do that now. We're going to be editing the introduction event. We are now in stage view for event 1 titled Introduction. In the stage view, we have the ability to edit or create event functionality. Notice the stage control bar is also shown in this mode with the addition of a few new buttons. Let's take a look at these now. The next and previous buttons will navigate to the next or previous event in the project. Let's move to event 2. As you can see, we're currently in edit mode. To preview and test the functionality of the event, we press the Run button. This runs the event from the beginning using its initial value settings. Let's test the functionality of this event. If at any point you want to make an edit, you can hit the Edit button. Pressing the Edit button will pause the event in its current state and allow for editing to occur. Note, while in edit mode, the initial values of properties that are changed will be saved. In this case, we've saved the text property. Once we have completed the editing, the Run Resume button will resume running from where we paused. We are back in run mode and can continue to preview the event. To reset the event back to its initial property settings, click the Edit Reset button on the main toolbar. Naming events is important in helping to organize and manage the project. To rename an event, click the title of the event's message center. We'll rename this Office Issues. You can see this name is now reflected in the event's control bar. We will now move back to the event flow view. To do this, click the Event Flow toggle button to move back to the flow view. There are two more event management concepts to cover. To duplicate an event, we move to one of the plus buttons on either side of the control bar, hold the Alt key down, and hit plus. That will make a duplicate of the event. If we want to delete that event that we've just created, just click the Delete button. The next concept is reordering the sequence of the events. To do this, click on the stage and drag. This will show a mini event stage. Next, moving this over the slider will show an insertion arrow. After selecting the insertion point, dropping the event will now change its location in the project. Let's move this one back to the beginning. This concludes the tutorial on event management.